Fast and Furious future after Fast and Furious 11 hints at a return to basics for the franchise, which highlights the problem with Fast X's ending and the movie as a whole. Described as the first of a two-part finale, Fast X was heavily promoted as the beginning of the end of Dominic Toretto's story. One of Fast X's biggest selling points was the film's cliffhanger ending, which would lead right into Fast 11, or Fast X, Part 2. Fast X's ending indeed included a major cliffhanger, the fate of Toretto and his son after Dante Reyes blew up everything around them. Still, with Fast and Furious 11's release date most likely moving to 2026, much of the momentum that Fast X's cliffhanger was supposed to create is gone. Additionally, the large Fast X cast, combined with everything the film left unresolved, means Fast and Furious 11 could be an even more convoluted movie than its predecessor. Interestingly, Fast and Furious may have finally decided to take a step back in terms of scale, but not until after Fast 11. Fast and Furious future movies may bring the franchise back to the streets. Fast and Furious future after Fast 11 is unclear. Although Fast X, Part 2 has yet to start filming, NBC Universal Studio Group Chairman and Chief Content Officer Donna Langley's latest comment on the franchise suggests future installments will bring the series back to its roots. According to Langley, via Variety, Fast and Furious may pivot another time and bring it back to the streets of LA and maybe make it a more intimate story. It's unclear what the studio's plans for the Fast and Furious franchise after Fast X, Part 2 are, but any future films will likely see a tone shift compared to Fast X. The most expensive Fast and Furious movie to date, Fast X reportedly had a production budget of $340 million. This explains why, despite having grossed over $714 million at the worldwide box office, Fast X was not as big of a hit as previous installments like Furious 7 and The Fate of the Furious. Fast X proved that Fast and Furious had become too big for its own good, both cost-wise and from a story perspective. The earnestness and heart that made the first films so special had now been replaced by non-stop action and superhero-level third-act battles. Fast and Furious tone shift highlights Fast X's biggest problem. Fast X was too big for its own good. Vin Diesel as Dom Toretto driving in Fast X. Fast X ends on a cliffhanger, teasing an even bigger movie for Part 2. The fact that Fast X is the most expensive Fast and Furious film and also includes the biggest lineup of main characters and villains since the inception of the franchise highlights the mistakes the series has made over the last few films. Although it made sense for Fast and Furious to go bigger and bolder with each film after the commercial and critical success of Fast 5, the franchise reached a point where it was difficult to surpass what it had already done.